guys, I think I'm starting again. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hi guys, how are you doing? I did just start filming previously, but I think my memory card is a bit dodgy right now and it seems to have deleted whatever I just filmed, so we're starting again. This is my first baby video. Now you guys know I am becoming a mum. Or mummy, because I'm not going to be a mum, I'm going to be a mummy. We are basically updating you today on the first trimester. So I was going to film this a little bit earlier, but I had been really sick, and so we're now at 18 weeks, but we're going to update you on the first trimester, so that's kind of the first 14-ish weeks, and how we got to obviously where we're at now. Where to begin? There are so many questions obviously you guys have asked, which I'll cover some things within this video. And if you have any other questions, obviously either send me them or comment below, and I can answer them in either a Q&A or the next bump date. But this, today, literally today, 18 weeks and 3 days, we have decided something entirely different to what we've been planning all along. So when we bought this house and, you know, we were manifesting our first child, honestly, when we bought this house, you should have heard us, like, we literally pretended we already had children. And when I say pretended, like, that is manifestation. Like, if you know law of attraction and you use law of attraction, you kind of live as though, or live as if, even though it's not already yours yet. When we viewed this house and other houses, but in this house we planned that the room we're using as the walk-in wardrobe would be our first nursery when we fell pregnant. And basically that would stay as a nursery for future children as well. So, like, you know, we'd do that, the smallest room, the smallest bedroom as the nursery. And then when our first child is obviously then bigger and needs like a big boy or girl room, then they will have one of the front 2 bedrooms. So that was the plan, and that had always been the plan. We kind of realised this morning that just doesn't make sense. It means kind of disrupting the setup we've already got when this room currently isn't in use. We have it set up as a guest room, but realistically, how often do you have guests stay over? When you buy a house, you kind of think that that might happen. And yeah, obviously there might be a case and we might have to then adapt for that scenario, but it's not likely that that's going to be, you know, a frequent thing. And with having this room this big, I'd rather make the use out of it, you know? So we also already have a daybed in the office, which it's a pull-out daybed, which means it's a double bed. So we do actually have the room for, you know, say a couple to stay over, whether that's friends, family or whatever. And, you know, say my brother's staying over, he can sleep on it as a single bed or whatever. So we have plenty of room for guests, which means this room isn't really in use and it's kind of getting wasted, and it's a nice spacious room, and we've barely spent any time in here, to be honest, since we moved in, and it's going to be somewhere we now do spend a lot of time because it is going to be our nursery. Playing on my mind that we wouldn't have as much space, then I was toying with the idea of having this as kind of a playroom and that other one just like the nursery, so, you know, simply like the cot, cupboard and changer kind of thing, and a chair, and then in here having all like toys and books and everything. But it just kind of didn't make sense, and basically I wanted to get started sooner rather than later. We still haven't designed wardrobes yet because we're umming and ahhing and we want to get it right. So we have an idea of the wardrobes we want to go with in our bedroom, but we haven't chosen wallpaper yet, which means it kind of just, everything kind of gets put back a little bit. We'd rather get started on the nursery and then come to the wardrobes and decorating our bedroom afterwards, if that makes sense. So that's kind of our new plan. We're going to keep the walk-in wardrobe as a walk-in wardrobe until we get you know, wardrobes in our bedroom, and obviously decorate our room, because we haven't even really thought about that. We are planning on wallpapering one feature wall in our room, but we would have had to have chosen and done that before fitting the wardrobes because we're planning to get fitted ones. So yeah, it kind of, we were umming and ahhing too much about the whole thing that we've just decided. It works best all around anyway, that this, you know, it doesn't disrupt anything. It means we can get started in here a lot quicker than we were planning. And yeah, it's just a bigger room, it's more spacious. There were reasons why I wasn't planning on doing that, you know. With my kind of mentality, I was thinking, my little baby can have the smallest room in the house and they can prove to me why they deserve that bigger room. You know, they can work towards it kind of thing, because of course they deserve it, I know that, but they've got to prove it to me. They've got to show me that they know they deserve it, if that makes sense. Anyway, that's not going to be the case now, because this is going to be their room, and this will then continue to be their room. So obviously we'll decorate it as a nursery, and then obviously when we do then change it into a big boy or girl room, we will take, you know, the cot down, etc., and we'll keep it in storage for future children, and then we can just use that in one of the other rooms for next time. But for the time being, this will be a nursery, and I'm really excited to get started right now, because I have so many ideas that I wanted to do that just wouldn't have really worked in the smaller bedroom at all. We want a cot, and we have a nice kind of feature piece that goes above the cot that we're planning on getting, with like drapes over the cot, and then you know, I want to get some shelves on the wall for books, and we've found a toy box that we'll eventually buy, which wouldn't have fit in the nursery if we put it in the other room, so we probably would have ended up putting that downstairs, but ideally I want that in the nursery, so that will work now. Cupboards, which we have an alcove in this room, so it literally won't take up any of the space. It'll just be a nice big cupboard there, and then we can obviously have a chair, a mat in the middle, a changer, and it'll still be plenty of space, because this is a really nice room, nice big room. And what we were going to do is just literally get rid of this bed, which was the plan anyway, because we were going to put our bed in here, but when we replace our bed, we will just sell that one. This one is knackered anyway, so we're just getting rid of it. It'll go in the tip. And yeah, that is the plan for the nursery, which I'm sure you'll see a lot more of going forward and in the process of decorating it. Let's talk about the nursery and more talk about actual baby. So when did we find out we were pregnant? We found out on April the 27th, which was a Tuesday. Since I went on the coil, because of having endo, my cycles had never ever been regular. They were just literally all over the show, completely unpredictable, you know. It was not good because of obviously how heavy and how painful they were. That wasn't ideal because I could never plan around it. Then when I went on the coil, it was the first thing that ever actually regulated them, and since, even when I came off the coil and went back on the pill, I thought that might change it all up again, and it didn't. So yeah, it regulated them to the point of them being literally bang on, pretty much the same time of day on the exact same day every 4 weeks. Like, it was literally round the clock. Knew what was going on. I feel ovulation because of having endo again, it's painful and stuff, so I know when I ovulate, and again it was exactly the same every month. So it was all very predictable, and obviously I, in my head, when being an obsessive planner and someone who truly believes in the universe and manifestation, I had it in my head would be in our own house by last Christmas, and that we would have our baby with us by this Christmas. Now, whether our baby will be born before Christmas Day, I'm not too sure, because the due date is the 30th of December, but you know, we're on schedule. Which I can't even begin to get into how grateful I am for that. We are incredibly blessed, and yeah, it brings a tear to my eye even thinking about all of that. And I will do more videos on endo and fertility, and how much I struggled with the whole idea of everything, and that obviously I didn't show to anyone because I didn't want anyone to know how soon I wanted a child and everything, you know, all of those things kind of weren't topics of conversation that I would have had prior to announcing that we're pregnant, and also prior to falling pregnant, because, you know, I never knew how quickly that would happen for me, well, for us. So anyway, let's not get too deep about that right now. I will do another video about that and talk about that sort of side of pregnancy and endo in much more depth, and go into like the emotions behind trying to conceive and things like that. So I will put like a poll up on maybe my Instagram at some point and, you know, see what questions you guys might have, and I will answer them as openly as I can. But this one is more of a light-hearted catch-up, and let's just say I was very, very sick throughout the first trimester, but before I fell pregnant, I had been being very, very sick every day, like pretty much every day. It was as though I was pregnant. Like, that's what was very psychologically challenging. My endometriosis had kind of created all sorts of problems, and I basically think what had happened was that because of being on such strong painkillers for, you know, a decade, I maybe damaged my stomach or something is amiss, and I was really struggling. I was really, really poorly. It wasn't just the pain, I was being violently sick and struggling to keep food down at all, struggling to keep water down. I was really, really, really ill. When we moved into the house, I had an entire week off work, where I was so sick, and it was not easy, not at all, and that happened a few times. And when I wasn't being as sick, I was still being sick, if that makes sense. So it was getting really hard to deal with, especially then when we were obviously trying to conceive, because if you've ever been in that situation yourself, you know you're praying that is then morning sickness, and obviously it wasn't. I was just really poorly, and that had been going on for best part of a year, really, but it was just getting worse and worse and worse, to be honest. When I came off the pill as well, I then obviously started struggling even more with my endo, because endo symptoms are masked when you are on the contraceptive pill. I was really, really struggling. It was not a good time. It was not easy psychologically, and really, really not easy physically. But I knew it would be worth it, and I just didn't know how long I would obviously have to put up that fight for. When I was planning, I had in my head that we would either fall pregnant by my birthday, which was March, or the latest would be by May. And that was because of a few things in my head. It was obviously, they say 6 to 12 months is the average, is what the average couple will be trying before conceiving. So that would have been 5 months, which would have obviously fallen short of that, which is kind of beating the odds. Beating the odds statistically normally if I didn't have endo, but then to have endo and beat the odds, it was like I was striving for something in my brain. I can't really explain it. You might understand if you're in the same sort of boat, I don't know, but it's just how my brain worked, and obviously having OCD and believing in the law of attraction. And then my camera cut off. But anyway, basically I had it in my head we'd fall pregnant before May. And so when I knew that my period was due, like the one that was going to cross me over from April to May, I was like, oh my god, like, if this doesn't happen, I'm going to struggle psychologically, and it's going to be a little bit challenging. And I trust the universe so much that, like, if it hadn't have happened then, I knew that there was a reason for that. There's a reason I would have waited longer and blah blah blah. But I just knew, because I'd been planning it for so long, that it would have hit me like a ton of bricks, and I would have needed to speak to some friends and things and be maybe a little bit more open about it. So the night before I found out I was pregnant, basically the night before it was due on, I took myself off to the office, wrote a letter to the universe, just letting go. You know, that last month I'd made some changes, basically kind of come up with more of a plan B route just to have as that backup in case things didn't go the way I'd wanted them to. And I'd never looked at having that plan B before. So, you know, I was preparing myself and giving myself those options. A massive downfall, I was going to pick myself up either way, because I just put so much emphasis on it for so long. And if you know me, you know what I'm like with stuff like that. So yeah, I wrote a letter to the universe, literally letting go and saying, you know, it's in your hands, and I trust you, and what will be, and we'll make the most of whatever happens, kind of thing. And I also spoke to my friend Liv. You probably will know Liv Cook. Obviously she's into the law of attraction and, you know, the psychology behind planning big things. So I told her about this whole thing. You know, I've not really told anyone about it, and she literally said, you know, like, look back to that message what you just said, it's in the hands of the universe. Think how beautiful that is, and think how true that is, and just let it happen. and then the day after, I don't know, it was so weird, I'd been feeling healthier. Oh wow, there was a butterfly that she just flew across literally there behind the camera. That was amazing. And it was a white butterfly. I'm sorry, law of attraction. Like, oh god, I can't cope with myself. That nearly brought a tear to my eye. Where was I at? Oh, I know what I was saying. So, every other month, obviously, I'd obsessed over it more, and this month I had actually finally let go, and I believe that that's why it happened, because I was so much more chilled, less stressed, and I was just letting things flow. And for a couple of weeks, I've been feeling so much healthier, like out of the blue, like not being as sick, having a lot more energy, not having the pains, didn't have the pains that felt like I usually did building towards a period. I thought it was because I'd gone on vitamin D tablets, and also because it had been sunny. I thought obviously maybe that's what it was that was making me feel healthier. But turns out obviously those 2 weeks I would have been pregnant without knowing. And obviously the day I was due on, there was just no signs of it. And usually there's kind of signs for it like 2 or 3 days beforehand, and there'd just been nothing. And I was like, is my brain playing with me here? But I just didn't feel like I was coming on. Just didn't feel it, and everything just felt like overwhelmingly like, this is it. But at the same time, you know, you don't know. So I did the pregnancy tests, and I had actually done them the day before, so I'd kind of set myself up for disappointment because they didn't show positive the day before. Pregnancy test, and you know, every other time I'd expected it to be negative. This time I just didn't know. And then I was like, no, it's obviously going to be negative, like, don't be daft. I was looking at it, and then obviously this faint line appeared, and I was like, is this my eyes? Like, I'd done one of them proper cheap ones. I was like, is this my eyes? What? No, surely not. So I do another one, and it was like more, like a darker line, and I was like, what? So then obviously I did one that has like a more expensive one that has like a cross, that obviously shows the cross, and then I went and got a digital one that literally says, you know, pregnant, and I was just blown away. It just kind of didn't feel real. It was an unbelievable feeling. I didn't cry, which I thought I was going to, and I didn't in the moment. You know, I've cried since, but I'm in the moment I was just so in disbelief. It was just crazy. Continuing on how I was feeling, obviously I'd been really sick beforehand, then I started to perk up when I'd obviously fallen pregnant, and then after a few weeks the morning sickness and everything just hit tenfold. I was bloated the whole first trimester. Started showing pretty evidently pretty quick, to be honest. I have a really petite build and clearly hold quite a bit of water, and it, to me, it was just so obvious, like, so obvious. Or I don't know if it would have been to everyone, but obviously with having been like a PT before and everyone kind of knowing my body type and my body shape, it would have been obvious had I been seen by a lot of people, I think, personally. But yeah, in terms of symptoms, I pretty much had everything, like literally everything. Anything you look up, I've seemed to have had, and I've been really, really poorly. But I went on the anti-sickness tablets, and I'm taking them 3 times a day. They kind of didn't do anything at first, then they started working a bit, and then it eased off. But even when it eased off, I'm still being sick, and not just sick as well, it's, you know, the other way too, pretty much every day, and it's a lot to deal with. But I would take it over endo pain, endo sickness, and not being pregnant any day, of course, because I am extremely, extremely blessed, and I'm so, so, so grateful to be in this position. And it's nothing in comparison to the pain I've been through. Absolutely nothing. I can deal with this. I said to myself I'd obviously go back to the gym in the second trimester, which I have now gone back to the gym, and that's given me more energy, which is really good. Throughout the first trimester, honestly, if you haven't been pregnant yet, be prepared, you will sleep for Britain. Like, I would finish work and be asleep. Like, I couldn't do anything with my evening times because I just slept and slept and slept. My body was completely exhausted. I've never been like that. I've never even been able to sleep in the day before, or like fall asleep on the couch and stuff. And honestly, being pregnant, that just happens literally so often. It's actually unbelievable how tired you get. It's a different type of tired. It's like you literally just sleep. You're not even just tired, you just sleep. A lot of people say that how they were in the first trimester kind of manifests again in the third trimester, so I'm prepared, but whatever. Things now, I think, even though I'm still being sick and everything, I have more energy, so it's easier to deal with, and obviously I know it's getting closer and closer to baby being here, so it's even more and more exciting. You're preparing more, you see your body growing, you feel the kicks, and feeling baby is such a good feeling, like a great feeling. I can't even describe it. It's so exciting. We found out, obviously this comes into the first trimester, which is what this vlog. We found out the gender at 14 weeks. Decided not to announce it until we've had our 20-week scan as well, because of just to make sure so we don't tell everyone the wrong thing for a start. Just because we're trying to plan a little gender reveal for some friends and our parents, and we wanted to do that with enough time to plan it, so we didn't want to do it straight away. And it's been kind of nice keeping it a secret to ourselves for the time being, because it's given us time to settle on a name. And it's just, I don't know, it's kind of like when you're pregnant and you haven't told anyone yet. It's like having another little secret, and it gets you so giddy. Like, I'm so excited to tell people, but it's keeping disciplined until we obviously do that little reveal, and that's going to be at the end of August. So obviously I will do a big video on our gender reveal and / baby shower, because we're doing it all in one kind of thing. That's pretty much it for the first trimester. I just slept and now I'm able to do a lot more, which is making me feel so much happier, so much more on top of my goals. You know, I do I usually spend my evenings on my computer working on our businesses, and now I can do that again, and I'm committing to YouTube properly. Obviously being on maternity leave, I'll have more time on my hands to do so. And same with TikTok, except today I seem to have been banned from posting on TikTok because I tried to post a video yesterday with stretch marks on, and apparently that is adult nudity and sexual activity. So I can't post on TikTok today, and I don't know how long that's going to last, but anyway, this is it. This is what we're doing now. So we're going to be on it with vlogs and updates, and this is going to be all sorts. I'm not just going to talk about pregnancy, it's going to be everything. So obviously you'll see different aspects of my life, a lot more balanced than previously. So we might have some aspects of being fitness and into the gym, my health, endo, family stuff, baby stuff, business. I might show you more behind the scenes of like e-commerce and stuff like that, and then, you know, in the future other things that we're planning on going into. That's what this channel is going to be now. It's going to show you all of it, and I'm so excited because this is what I've always wanted to do. I don't know, I think I had that barrier up in my head of this is when I'd be able to do that, and I feel like most balance I've ever felt in my life before, and it's a great feeling. Obviously there'll be house updates as well because there's going to be so many changes around here. It becomes more and more homely by the day. Just want to say as well, I am so grateful for, you know, the friends who are really there for me and I can count on and talk to about things, and, you know, be open with and be there for each other as we all obviously grow older and do different things at different times of our lives. It's all so exciting, and I'm so grateful to have the people around me that I do. I really, really am. And the same with family as well. Like, I just thank you so much to everyone who plays a part in my life. I'm all emotional. It's been a bit all over the show as like a bump date because I've never really done that before. Next time I will do more of a Q&A side to it, but this time it's kind of just a little chit chat, catching you up and letting you know the plan going forward. I will show you the bump and I will also just quickly show you the room. So much more obvious in different clothes because obviously what I'm wearing right now is like baggy clothes, but this is 18 weeks and 3 days. And my little scar from my operation has gotten bigger across my tummy button. But there's the bump. And here is the room. So as I mentioned, we have that alcove, which is going to be the cupboard for clothes. Not sure of the layout yet, but nice and spacious room. Loads of space. Probably going to put the cot in the middle with like the feature thing above it, and maybe a chair in the corner, changer, you know, maybe some shelves and stuff. I've got plug sockets here, so lights. And yeah, we're going to panel the room. That's how we're going to decorate it, but not sure which way around we're going to paint it yet. But that is me for today. I will talk to you again soon, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or I will speak to you on Instagram. But thank you for watching, and I will speak to you again very, very soon.